All right, let's take a look at that. If you want to know how many laps I did here, it's all right. I'm just learning. I've actually never driven this track before today, so I'm happy. I think this is a good time. 155. I bet the good guys will be in the 154s, maybe the 153s. But that's to be seen. I think that I hit everything pretty much how I wanted to hit it, so I'm just gonna go off of that. I think it'll be helpful for the majority of you guys out there. So, going to the green flag, it was just taking an easy chicane, nothing too crazy. And I want to point out the first corner here is, in my opinion, the hardest. These banking transitions and getting onto the apron and stuff, it just is really hard to find your angle and find your turn-in point and get the car woed down without locking up. So I spent way too long just braking way too late. So I actually start braking about at the end of the grass now. And you can see that I short shift into second under heavy braking, trying to keep my wheel as straight as possible. And there's two ways to do this. I actually short shifted into first here, just because I felt like my car was heading straight enough. Because the way that I've been doing this is I've been like aiming for this white line here, reaching out straight, and then slowing it down further, and then curving it into the corner like this. Now, it's easier to do this if you don't short shift between second and first. It's easier to keep the car under you, but I started getting confident with like the sketchy braking, which I definitely wouldn't even do for the race. So I got confident with the sketchy braking, so I got into first, and luckily it just turned for me. If you want to take a little bit of speed out of it, then definitely wait a little bit longer between your second and first shift. And then just try to hug that white line. I don't want to go all the way out to the curb here, because I'll just have to keep turning if I do that. So I kind of finished my corner a little bit off the curve and then aim for this yellow, the part of the curb that juts out here. Early shift into second is kind of helpful to keep the car under you, but I was kind of pushing first gear just for speed. And then I'm holding like half throttle here because I'm really trying to get to the left here. You don't have a lot of time to set up for the right-hander. So right after the timing line, and I know this is a bad reference point, but right after the timing line is when I brake. If I didn't have this timing and scoring on, I wouldn't have a mark, but it looks like pretty much right at the 200. Right at the 200. You can go just hug the curb right here. This exit here is deceptively slow. Like, you can think that you want to put down the power here, but the track smooth roughness and the curb here, you just can't get full throttle in first gear until your wheel is completely straight. So what I actually do is I take the corner a little bit longer than you would think you would have to with how wide the track appears. But like I don't even cross over the white line here until like the very, very end. Once you get past that white line, the track's roughness is pretty rough. Get into third gear here. Little half throttle moment there. It can, if you turn in too late, you'll disengage the rear tires and get super loose. So make sure you're turning in proactively enough towards this yellow curb. Immediately, right when you get to this curb here, you want to switch to your brake. Try to get it going to the left at first, just so that you have a wide entry. I like the late apex in this corner quite a lot, because again, it's like a deceptively narrow exit, especially for how long the corner is. This corner just feels like it goes on forever, in my opinion. You can probably double apex this to a degree, which I kind of do there, but I find this car just likes rolling in first gear at the curb better. You don't really want to be kicking out your rear tires in first gear. Probably a lot of this will be through second gear in the race itself. And then right after I hit this yellow curb, somewhere in between the yellow curb and the grass there, I get on my brake again, can run over this yellow curb here, and then just aim it right at the yellow, keep it tight on the inside. The line here goes a little bit wider, but I just find that this car doesn't love to rotate under throttle, or either it likes it too much, I should say. So I kind of just keep it pinned on the inside, really as tight as possible, that my car will allow me. And I found that this is better for me because like it's really tough getting through first gear on this surface. Like this is like a decent, like this is a good amount of loose. This is like manageable for me. I had it where I was like spinning out before. In fact, I started short shifting on some of my attempts to second, but nah, you can live through it on first, especially on hot lap. I would recommend maybe short shifting to second on race just to preserve your rear tires, because like always, ARCA road course, right? Rear tire preservation is the name of the game. Okay. So I'm going to brake close to the 2, but not quite at it. I found that once I get to the 2, maybe some people can get it done. But this was about topped off of where I could go. First curb here, you can run right over. Second curb, just about the same, but I don't love running right over it because it gives me a worse angle for the third curb. So I do run over the first curb. Second gear, run over the first curb, get started rotating. I need to start rotating over the second curb already, and then that sets me up for the third curb, and then just straight off the last one. Last 2 curbs have big turtles here, as you can see. Can't touch those. Just can't. I think that some of the better chicaners than me can take this a little bit wider and make a straighter exit, but I did just about what I wanted to do there. I think that, as always, I'm losing about 3/10 to like the absolute aliens here. Probably carry a little more speed, let it come back out wider, and then get it to magically rotate so that you can straight shot in second gear those last 2. I think that for what I'm capable of, that's pretty much where I'm at. Make sure that you come out to the wall here. I actually did a little bit too late. About right before the 5 is where I found I like braking. I can survive braking if I brake at the 5, but it's a little rough because of like look at all this laneage you have to come down. So much track surface stuff. Really, I barely touch this. I don't want, none of these curbs are touchable with these turtles. I was trying to cut it as close as I could because I really want to set up wide here. See the wheel hop in first because I'm coming. Basically, I wheel hop in first because I hop off this curb and my tires aren't super engaged. But you do want to be in first for this. Luckily, I was able to get here, but just that little hop at the beginning meant that I had to hit the last turtle. And it wasn't the worst, but I'm definitely lost like 1 to 2 tenths off of that. Off this whole sequence was at least 1 to 2 tenths because I hit the turtle. But I didn't like spin the tires coming off the turtle, and that's like a huge killer. All right. So yeah, as always, keep track of your rear tires for the long runs. Sometimes that first gear acceleration off the corner just isn't going to be worth it for tire wear, and you're going to want to be in second gear a lot of the times. Braking zones, especially turn 1, do not push it. So many people are going to go off track turn 1 because they lose track of where they are, feel like they can drive it in deeper than they can. Just be really easy in turn 1. You're not going to lose a lot of time by being a little bit early on the brakes because you can just kind of trail it in as opposed to hard braking and just do it over a longer period of time. That's probably what I'm going to do for a race run. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope to see you all on the track.